Hello, hello, hello. Well, it's England, not West Ham, that we talk about this time around. So, if you haven't seen the starting lineup, it is Pickford in goal, James, Gahey, Konsa, Lewis Skelly at the back, and a brilliant debut, by the way. I thought he was quality. Then we've got Bellingham, Rice, Bowen, Rogers, Rashford, and Kane. Rashford's a bit lucky to get back in, I think, but yeah, maybe he's taking another look at him. Who knows? Who knows? And then obviously we've got Kane up top. Kane does what Kane does. How you doing, Inex? You all right, mate? Good to see you, buddy. Now, I didn't get to watch Nick's watch along, but I do know that it was a bit of a struggle of a match. So hopefully we'll see a bit more action. I mean, I can't see anything else but them just camped in their box for the whole game. So it's going to be a bit of a cricket score. I think so. It'd be good to see what your predictions what your predictions are. Even I haven't had any beers yet, but yeah, great to see Bowen starting. Hi, Scott. Have we the lineup? Yes. Unfortunately, I can't put the lineup on the graphics here, so I'll give it about 5 minutes, mate. Let everybody join up. And then I'll read out the lineup again. But the good news, the main news, is Bowen is starting. So we do get to see Bowen for hopefully a full 90 minutes. I mean, he's going to rotate at half time. I'd imagine this is going to be every sub is probably going to come on if at all possible. So we're going to see a lot of changes in this one. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the squad? Is there anybody on the bench that you would have in? Anyone you think should be there or shouldn't be there? It'd be great to get your thoughts on that one. I mean, it's a tough one with Kane, isn't it? Because you know what Kane's going to do. So I would have liked to have seen another striker. But, I mean, if you're Kane, you would be absolutely annoyed if you weren't starting this one. Because I reckon he'll probably just grab a hat-trick and that'll be the cue to get him off. So I can't see any other. Yeah, I think that will just happen. And then who's he going to bring on? Solanke. The one for me, and again, this is probably discussed on Friday with Nick, but why bring Henderson back in? I don't understand why you would bring Henderson back into an England squad at his age. Blows my mind. I mean, he's not even playing in the top league anymore. He went off to Saudi, went off to Netherlands. He's never going to start in the World Cup, I don't think. And I don't really think you need an older head in these warm-up games against crappy opposition. So there's a bit of a weird one. But anyway, to the comments, just seeing, yes, Scott, obviously the main thing, Bowen on the score sheet tonight. I think so. I think we'll get a goal. I mean, this team are going to defend for their lives. They have to. That's all they're going to do. They're not really going to get out. But I think Bowen's got that trickery where he's direct enough that he's going to run at them. So I think he'll score. So hopefully, D. Scott, that will be correct. Guys is thinking this one is going to be 3-1 to England. I mean, I think it'll be a lot more. I do. I think they're ranked out of about 230 teams. They're, I said it on TalkSport earlier, but they're like 170, 180th or something like that. So they are. What I do know is that they're 90-1 to win. Now, for a 2-horse race, for one team to be 90-1 is just unheard of. So Inex thinks it's going to be 3-0. I'd like to have a look at Angel Gomez. Yeah, I'd like to have a look at him, but yeah, not going to be tonight. But certainly, I think, would we like to see him in a West Ham shirt? I don't think it's going to happen. He's on a freebie. He's already turned down 100 grand from what I hear, so can't really see that happening. Right, let's just see the formation of this one. I'm just looking at the Latvia team, seeing if I can recognise any name, because sometimes these players do pop up in a League One, League Two type team, but I can't pronounce them, let alone recognise anything. Yeah, I can't. I do not recognise one player, as you'd probably expect from Latvia. This should be. I just hope it's more of an entertaining game than the one on Friday, because that was a bit of a tough watch for everybody. Make West Ham great again. That says, good to see Bellingham tried in a deeper role. Central mid is a weakness and it's worth a try. Bellingham is good enough to play anywhere, 100%. I mean, he's absolutely mustard. I think when you have him and Rice should absolutely dominate most. most teams in world football. You can't think of anyone else that's really that strong as a pair. And Rodgers as well. Let's give a shout out to Rodgers from Villa. I think he's had a superb season. Obviously, come from Man City, went to Borough, dropped down, and come back up again. But he's been brilliant for Villa this season. So good to see someone like him in. I guess if you look through this squad, if you're looking at the defence, because obviously West Ham's defence, as we know, a little bit iffy. Question marks there or thereabouts. Which one of those defenders would you take out of Reece James, Gahey, Konsa, or Lewis Skelly? If you could have any one of those defenders in the West Ham team, who would you have? I think for me, it'd probably be Lewis Skelly at the moment. Or Gahey's pretty good as well. Reece James, I don't know if he's consistent enough. Hopefully we'll see some good subs. So let's look at the subs bench. Now we've got a few people on. I'm going to read out a few people saying Gahey as the one they would take. Well, not Mavropanos. I don't know if he played against the game against Scotland the other night. Scotland got spanked. Didn't look at the lineup. So let's look at the full squad again. So we've got Pickford in goal, James, Gahey, Konsa, Lewis Skelly, Bellingham, Rice in midfield. Then you've got Bowen, Rodgers, Rashford, and Kane. I hope Rashford's looked better at Villa. Still not amazing. But on the bench, we've got Dan Burns. I mean, he's a funny one for me because I think he hasn't got much skill, but he's great in the air and he can nick a goal. So it's probably a good game for him because I think if we launch anything in, he's just going to get his head on it. Then you've got Eze, Foden, Gibbs White, Henderson, or Dean Henderson, and then Jordan Henderson. Curtis Jones, I think, is a very good player. Quansah, I've seen him a few times for Liverpool. I'm not convinced about Quansah, but he's only young, so he's got time. You've got Lewis Colwell, Dominic Solanke, James Trafford, quite like him. He's a decent keeper, but he's never gonna dethrone Pickford, who is easily our best number one, to be honest. Even though he's a gobby git, but if he's in your team, you love him. And then obviously Kyle Walker. So some score predictions. For my score predictions, I'm going to say 6-0. I'm going to go for 6-0. I'm going to put it in the comments. You can hold me to account in that at the end. Okay. If I'm wrong, you can rip me. I don't think they'll score, though. I'll be surprised if they score. So just on so Thomas Tuchel being injured at the moment. Again, what are your thoughts on having a German manager? How did he do in his first game? How do you think the first game went? He was promising, exciting, free-flowing football. Playing against the two teams, in fact, playing against all the teams we're going to be playing against, they're just going to be blocking order. They're just going to be sat at the back. So it's really hard to have, anything exciting. The football here is going to be pass, try and tire them out, and then go at them in the second half. I think that's kind of, although it didn't quite work out in the last game, we still easily won. Others are saying 5-0. Yeah, we don't know. So we are 6 minutes from kickoff. Excuse me. One thing that I did just before this game, I wanted to look at, obviously we're going into World Cup. This is all the World Cup qualifiers. Going into the World Cup, how different does this team look from our last World Cup squad? So that 2022 World Cup squad, for me, I didn't think it would be that different. But when I look at it now, it's a massive difference, huge difference. So there's a few players here that have just completely fell off the radar. Some quite rightly, you think, and I'm thinking in defence, particularly Connor Cody, Eric Dyer, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, he can't stay fit. Kieran Trippier, he's getting knocking on a bit now. Ben White, again, what happened to Ben White? Is he someone that you think you'd like back in the England squad? I quite like him, but whatever happened with Ben White in England, like he's not letting it go. So that's a bit of a weird one. I'd love to have got to the bottom of that. Don't think we ever will. In midfield, Conor Gallagher, again, could have been a good shout. He's not doing too bad. He's scoring out in Spain. Mason Mount, again, Mason Mount was, Declan's best mate, but again, it's just don't see him anymore. Calvin Phillips, rubbish, awful. And then forwards, Grealish. So some of these can still come back in. James Maddison, obviously Saka is out at the moment. Raheem Sterling, and Arsenal fans really don't like Raheem Sterling. And Callum Wilson. Don't think Callum will ever see Callum Wilson again. So yeah, quite different in terms of that lineup. So still a year to go, of course. So could it change? Malk says, love the fact that Bowen is starting. Sorry, just joined the chat so late with this comment. Malk, you're never too late with that comment, mate. We're all very happy that that Bowen is starting, and we all think, most of us think he'll score tonight. Think he'll score 1, 2? Do you think he won't score? I think he'll do well. Ironix says, do you think the Potter will finish in the top 8 over the next 2 seasons with West Ham? Yeah, I do think with England, it's fine. So, man, that's a great question, actually. I'd love to say yes, but I think that the league now is much more open. I don't think Forest could probably do the same as they did again, because the problem with teams like Forest doing really well is that some of those players really get noticed, and other clubs just come in and take them. But you think the teams that haven't done great, even like there's teams I think that would have been higher up that are not, like Tottenham and Man U, as much as we don't like them, they ain't going to be where they are next year here, so they'll be pushing. Brighton are inconsistent. Bournemouth are doing well. There's a lot of teams. It's a really tough. I mean, the Premier League's probably the most open it's been in years, and I think that Arsenal still need a striker. They're not really going to challenge. Liverpool are going to lose players. So I think I can see City coming back in. Coming back to your question, I know I've gone on a bit of a rant there, but I've got 3 minutes to go, so why not? I think it'll be tough. I think next year, if we get top 10 at West Ham, because we need a lot of players. We all know we need a lot of players. I think 10th will be okay. I think if we finish 10th, I don't think you can have a go at him. And you've got to give him a full season as well. After that, then yeah, we probably should be pushing for a European place. But again, that all depends on whether West Ham are going to stump up some funds. So there's a lot of ifs and buts with West Ham, I think. I'm trying to think if there's any other West Ham players that could kind of break through for England. Not really. I can't see anyone certainly making it the next World Cup squad. So it's a tough one. Kaiser says that this game is made for a Bowen goal. I think so. I think if he gets the ball and he's direct. Bellingham lost the ball quite a bit last game. I don't think he was at his best, so he's just got to release the ball. And Peter says Bowen will have a good chance of scoring if his teammates actually pass. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, he's used to that with Kudus. So to be fair, he's the kind of player that if he gets the ball deep, he'll make something happen. He'll run at him. Mitchell, you're making us jealous. Can't wait to go to Miami for the World Cup action. I'm old enough to remember 90s here in Orlando. What a party. Man, imagine that. Imagine being in Miami for a World Cup. I mean, it's different, isn't it, in the US? Mitchell, are you from the USA? Let us know if you're from the USA or you're just heading over there. But like when I hear, like, I speak to people in America occasionally, so they say that just the atmosphere is very different. They will have the tailgate parties and things. So it's a very different atmosphere. And I mean, obviously, I can remember the US. Was that the one England weren't in the last US? And it was Republic of Ireland. I think that's right. But yeah, I'd imagine what that's going to be like. It's very, very different to European World Cup. But the thing is, England don't do well. I mean, we don't do well anyway, but we don't do especially well when it's outside the continent. So I don't know. We don't play well in the heat, but it's England. When do we play well? So it's a tough one. Okay, we've got 1 minute till kickoff. Pete says, I think it was Konsa who stopped a couple of possible Bowen goals by getting in the way one match. In terms of like shots, and he just kind of come off his backside or block them. Yeah, I can't remember who we were playing though, Peter. Can you remember that? But this is Latvia. Peter, how many goals do you think we're going to score? What do you think the score's going to be? I can't see anything apart from this being a heavy score. Saying, I mean, I haven't been to many England matches. I do find England matches a little bit dull. Hopefully this won't be one of them. I did go to see England versus San Marino once. I got corporate tickets, and so it was in a box. It was all really nice, laid on. And I think I left after about 70 minutes because it was so boring. Even the free beer couldn't keep me. Like, it was just so passing practice match, no intensity. The crowd was really quiet. Oh, it's just awful. But yeah, I mean, this is a World Cup qualifier, so that was only a friendly. I don't know why you'd bother with a friendly. And it might have been wherever it was crap. It doesn't matter. But they're just showing the England lineups at the moment. Yeah, Bellingham and Rice. Be interested to see how they intermix as well. Mitchell said he is a Florida guy, West Ham fan. Nice to see USA Hammers, Mitchell. Yeah, I mean, to watch West Ham out there with a bit of sunshine. Sorry, England out there with a bit of sunshine. Must be the nuts, mate. We're all over that. Malk says, have you got a spare room? Yeah, if you've got a big place, share the wealth. Don't hold it to yourself, mate. We'll all be out there. And Peter thinks this should be 6 or 7, but who knows? Okay, so Bowen is taking the kickoff, gets the first touch of the match, and we're underway. Straight away, the ball's played to Jordan Pickford, and all the Latvia players just retreat. So yeah, expect a lot of possession on this one. The commentators, I can't hear him, are Sam Matterface and Lee Dixon, but I don't mind Sam Matterface. It's actually all right. Peter says, yeah, sometimes when you're playing a poor team, it comes down to their level. They don't give it 100%, like when you play a top team. I mean, yeah, they've got to expect a spanking. And there's a foul, so England get a free kick on the right. Bowen fouled. Yeah, as I say, I don't really know any of the Latvia players. Obviously, I've never watched any of their games. I'd imagine they're just going to try and kick the hell out of us, but it's going to be a tough one. I wonder what it was like for Nick, if he was just saying, and they're passing it around the back. They're passing it around the back. I may, if this gets really dull, I may throw in some England football quiz questions just to pep it up if we're doing too many passes. Latvia won the ball back in defence. England press. This is where you see if they panic, and they have panicked, and Bowen's on them. Bowen tackles. It's gone out for Latvia. Sharp start from the Bowen. Now, I'm just looking at the England goalkeepers as we take this throw in. Obviously, Ramsdale's there, and there's a lot of talk of Ramsdale coming to West Ham. Now, he's got the kiss of death, hasn't he? Having so many relegations under his belt. Is Ramsdale a keeper you'd want to see at West Ham? Fabianski's got to be replaced at some point. And if it was Ramsdale, would he be somebody that would step up to first team keeper? Would he be a backup to Areola? I know Areola splits the room sometimes. England playing it around. Going to be camped in their half as we push forward. Bellingham, Rashford, Jinkin. Ball's played in. It's just too strong. Just too strong for Bellingham. When's Bellingham's brother coming as well? Just talk to that when they're getting Jube. Are we just buying the name? That is the question. Okay, so it's a goal kick to Latvia. Yeah, England win it back. Back to Pickford. Peter says that Ramsdale will be relegated with his third team. So no to come in for him coming to West Ham. Is that a kiss of death? Is there any players that West Ham have bought that have been relegated? That we bought that have turned out well? Can anyone think of any? Trying to rack my brains on that. It's gone down a wing, and Rashford fouls. Clear foul. Rob Singleton says Haller scored for Ivory Coast. Oh, thoughts on Haller? Is he the most miserable player ever to play for West Ham? It's a tough one. Hard to get. It might have even broken a little smile scoring against whoever at Ivory Coast are playing tonight. No idea. Malk says he's not sure on Ramsdale. Maybe he's wrong, but I think Nipples and Fabi would be the lead keeper. We need a much better one. The other two we currently have. Yeah, I think I know Areola's not done too bad recently, but I still don't think he's the answer, long-term answer for us. So, and yeah, you're right. Ramsdale was probably not the answer to that either. Pete says Dowie was the most miserable looking. I mean, he was probably the worst looking, but he was a miserable kid. He did look like the chap from Goonies, but it was actually quite funny, I think, sometimes. Not a great striker, but there you are. Nick says Trafford from Burnley was the pick. Yeah, I mean, he's got time on him as well, hasn't he? So great people to learn from. Reece James fouls, so Tuchel holds his head. That was a bit of a bad tackle, but no yellow card. Rice wins it back, and England advance again. Come on, I want to see something a bit more direct from England tonight. Bowen's got it out on the right. I mean, this is a great game for him. Run past him again. Cross comes in. Just headed away. And out for an England throw. Nick says, and he's 1.97 meters tall. That is very precise, mate. Very precise. Just under a door then. Yeah, I mean, I like him. Could he be a top keeper? Maybe too early to say, but got to have something about him. I always say I like keepers who are vocal. That's why Pickford's horrible as a keeper. Pickford is a pain in the arse as a person. But, I mean, he commands that defence, doesn't he? Areola doesn't say a bloody word, does my head in. Bellingham was trying to advance then, but was tackled. It's out for an England throw. Yeah, so that's for me why I don't like Areola. Fabianski's probably the same. Malk says, Hammers question, who is everybody's most feared Hammers player as far as aggression? My two are Dix and Ruddock. Anyone offer another option? Well, yeah, Dixie's got to be the one. Billy Bonds was fierce in the tackle. I only caught the tail end of his career, to be honest. But who else? Thomas Repka. He was bloody good. He was a bit of a nutter. So yeah, I'd chuck Thomas Repka into that. I mean, Alvarez is feared just because he just throws himself at tackles, but I don't think he's a good tackler. Yeah, Inex agrees. Repka, he was a good player. Pete says Billy Bonds to me. Legend and favourite football of all time. Nick says, I fear Mavropanos. We all fear the old Mavers. Jesus Christ. What a player. We are looking to sell him, apparently. He's one of those that we are looking to get out the door. I think there's probably about 6 or 7 players at West Ham are looking to move on. Obviously going to retire or go. So, Rashford makes a poor pass. Yeah, Rashford is a bit slow there. Robert says Moncur, he was a nutter. Yeah, he was a nutter as well, actually. He was a nutter. I liked him though. Always wear his clothes too big. Always had his shirt size too big though. Okay, England advancing here, trying to cut through, but it's just they're met with a bank of players every time. Rice picks it up. Skelly comes out wide to Rashford. He's got to do something, Rashford, on this. No, plays it to Bellingham. Chops back. Back to Rashford. Chipped in. Oh, crap cross. A lazy cross in. And then Skelly runs across a Latvia player. I thought it was a foul, to be honest, but it wasn't. Yeah, that's a great shout as well, Keith. Martin Allen, Mad Dog. That is a good shout. Shot coming from Rice, blocked. And Latvia break, but the striker's on his own. Easy one back by Reece James. Robert also says Stewart, as in Ray Stewart. Yeah, very good. Didn't really see, probably just before my time. Quarterback end. I reckon loads of people made good money betting on Monker getting a yellow. Luckily, that was before Paqueta's time. Dawson. Yeah, another good shout. I like Dawson. Ginge. Oggy. I mean, Oggy was a good tackler. It wasn't feared. I think he was a. I miss Oggy. I think he was a quality player for us. Shot comes in. Blocked. And not much else happening. Rice just playing it around at the back now. The whole defence, England's defence, probably about 20 yards into the Latvia half. But now they're countering. Reece James just going to hold him up. Well, no, he's got past James. And it's a Latvia corner. To be honest, probably good odds on Latvia even getting a corner, I think. So let's see this tackle on Bowen again. There wasn't much in it. Wasn't a card, wasn't a foul, but Bowen's running around, thankfully. Don't do another Dean Ashton on us. And Latvia not in the biggest hurry to get this across. Okay, 11 minutes, 15 seconds gone. Cross comes in. Easily headed away. And it was a foul. So England get a free kick. Peter says it's hard to stay awake watching this game. We're only like, we're not far into it as well, mate. Maybe we should just drop the watch-alongs and do quizzes while there's England games on. For another John Hartson. Yeah, very good in the air. I mean, if you're thinking of good people who win everything in the air, Carroll was great in the air, wasn't he? And he's supposed to be a bit of a hard bastard as well. So England press forward. Rashford gets it again, runs at defenders. Just a little passing around at the moment. Come on, put a cross in. Cross comes in. Oh, Rashford's had the chances to put 2 easy crosses in. No pressure. He's fluffed both of them so far. What's a little bit annoying with this game, really? You got Bowen out on the right, which is where he should be. And when he gets down there, right footer, he can put a cross in. You got Rashford on that side as a right. He's got Rashford on the left as a right footer. He can't cross. He hasn't got a left foot, so he always has to come back. So you're never going to get anything around the back. Weird. I wouldn't have a right footer on the left hand side. Okay. Rashford has it again. He's getting a lot of the ball. Comes inside. Rice. Bowen. Oh, Bowen loses that, but Latvia can't control it. England win it straight back. I'm going to be saying that a lot in this watch along. England win it straight back. Okay, I'm going to start putting some questions in the chats as well. Rashford. Oh, controversial there. Troy says Rashford's a big nose waster. Better than Foden, though. Now, that's an interesting one. Personally, I don't think either of them are England material. I don't think any of them really turn up for England. But who, if you had to choose one in the comments, let us know. Foden or Rashford? Who would you go for? Cross comes in. Oh, Bowen. Round the back. Couldn't get on that. Bowen went for a header. It hit him on the knee. That was a weird one. Troy says that Foden is a headless chicken outside of a Pep system. Yeah. But GP would take Foden in his right position. Yeah, when you think of midfielders these days, you take them too. You think of them, and then you go back to some of the midfielders we've had, like when you talk of Gerrard's, Lampard's. Again, I know they weren't amazing for England when they played together. But you look at players like that, and you look at, who's the other one? I just thought of Gaza. You look at players like that, they could turn games on their head. Foden's never done that for England. He's never done it. He's just a tip-tap passy merchant. He's got good ball control, don't get me wrong, but just not a massive fan of Foden for England. Nick says Foden. There we go. Nick said Foden is overrated, but Rashford is barely a footballer. And Hammers Mikey says Rashford is one of the most overrated players ever. How does he even get in the team? Couldn't finish a free school dinner, let alone a shot on goal. It's weird, isn't it? Well, you think if you go back to saying this earlier, before, I don't know if you joined in time, but we were talking about, oh God, when he runs like this. God, his name's going to be Arsenal. You know what I mean, anyway. Someone will put it in the comments. But like, he pretty much got us through most of the last World Cup. It was awesome. But this time around, like, he's just not even going to be anywhere near the squad. Bring up his name now. Here it goes out of your head. Raheem Sterling. There you go. Yeah, thanks, Pete. So yeah, you look at Sterling. He was amazing for the last World Cup. Actually, won us games. He's probably the best player we had. But he just goes completely off the ball. I think Rashford's been the same. I don't think he's been the same for seasons. Yeah, exactly. Like he hasn't been doing it for club, but he was really good for England. He was very, very good. He's played better than Foden or Rashford ever have, really. But I can't even imagine. Rashford hasn't been that great. And as you say, his goals were against lesser teams. So Rashford's got the ball again. Cross comes in. That's actually a better cross this time. Oh, who's that? Shot comes in from Bowen, just over. So 17 minutes in and no goals. He hit that hard, didn't he? It was just on the... Actually, it was miles wide. From the original angle, it looked closer than it was. Yeah, that was hairy. So Gahey and Pickford with a bit of a mess up at the back there. And Latvia should have scored. Like, I don't know what happened there. If Pickford's shouting, he's got to get that. Yeah, that was a let-off. Pete said Rashford diving again. Now, diving started to creep back in to the Prem. And Arsenal were big at it. Fernandes, there's a few. Can't stand the divers. He's not having any of it though. Yeah, come on. Rashford is a cheating diver. Thing is, would he even get? He wouldn't get the penalty. He's not going to gain anything from it, is he? Rashford loses it again. I mean, everything is coming down that side. I don't know why. Everything's coming down the left. Nothing's really going out to Bowen. Stick it out to the right. Mix it up a bit. Troy says Gordon's the new Vardy at diving. A lot of people don't like Anthony Gordon. I don't mind him. Still take him at West Ham. Oh, on the attack, good defending. It's an England corner. Malk says, do you think nowadays some players don't have the passion, i.e. the days of Gaza, they all had such passion and players, like their lives depending on it? I don't see that much lately. Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to think that money hasn't ruined the game. But there's a video, I don't know if you saw, I don't know who filmed it, but there was a video with Harry Redknapp online, and it was talking about the team that he had versus the team of today. And he was going, which player would you rather have? Went through the whole team. And Redknapp picked every player that he had over Tottenham's today. And you think, oh, he's biased. But when you go through it, I mean, absolutely not. Oh, England should have scored then. Should have scored. The header come in, and then there was a follow-up. Couldn't see who shot the follow-up, but straight at the goalkeeper. Oh, it's actually a decent save, to be fair. I think it was Konsa. But it was straight at him. Okay. Cross comes in, headed over from Bellingham. GP says, I guess if you're being paid 100 grand a week to do this, entertaining us would be less on your mind and more cars, women, and mansions. I mean, it's hard to dispute that, to be honest. So, and you think 100 grand a week's not even like the top players now. Kobe Mainu turned down 100 grand a week, didn't he? Play for Man U. I mean, I know he's playing for Man U, but what's he got to be on now? Still on a youth contract, really. Well, not a youth contract, but he'll be on a lot less than that, maybe a third of that. And yeah, I mean, that's a bang on statement. Players do tend to be more athletes than gifted footballing talent. Yeah, I mean, if you put you don't even go that far back, but like Man U are really good. Like you look at the Palisters, Steve Bruce, they get rinsed from these attackers now. All super quick. Tony Adams, Bobby Moore even. Like Bobby Moore had the amazing footballing brain, but you can't think as quick as some of these run. I mean, these are, as you say, just athletes. Very different game. Hey, Deanie, how you doing, mate? Good to see you, pal. Ross comes in, England, over the bar, Harry Kane. Well, we've not really had many clear-cut chances. Troy, 300 grand a week seems to kill passions of many. Ozil and Aubameyang scoring tons before they sign massive deals. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think there's it's got to, isn't it? I mean, you kind of already made it. You're set for life. Yes, you could earn more, but you're talking tens of millions. Tens of millions. You're like, don't get me wrong, I'd have a bloody good go at spending it, but still. Pete says football was better to watch in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, I was born in 78, so I didn't see much of it in the 70s. So I was more like 90s era kind of. Yeah, late 80s. Started watching West Ham really going down there. So my first game was the Alan Devonshire Testimonial. So a friendly game. And I've got that signed program as well. Still to this day. Malx is a good point. Gaz used to have a few beers before a match. And probably at half time as well. So I don't think anyone could stop Gaza. Absolute nutbag. And again, the characters, you don't really have many characters in the game anymore. You're talking about like managers as well. Like, you used to have real funny managers. Even like the Warnocks going nuts. Redknapp was funny. There was just a lot of them. Now everything's bland. Ball comes in, knocking it around. This game is low on quality. I know, like, we've just got to break them down. England just keep winning it back. And then passing it forward. Come on, do something. Bellingham running at defence. Ross is in. Morgan Rogers fluffed it. Bilic used to smoke. Yes, he did. Yeah. Most of the best talent over the last 40 years were not quick. You give us some examples. Who do you mean? I mean, the last 40 years, yeah. I mean, pace is kind of more of a modern football thing, isn't it? Like, even when teams send scouts out now, it's like, I want someone who's 6'2" and runs like Usain Bolt. So you have to be quick to play in the Prem. You're just not going to survive. The days of Molby lugging his fat ass around, it's just totally gone. So didn't Dixie have fag? I don't know if Dixie smoked. I'm not sure. I have no idea. Oh, ball's bobbling around. Go on, get a shot on. Blocked again. I mean, it's hard to get a shot off because there's 7 Latvians in the goal. So everything's getting blocked. Cross comes in, cleared again. Out for a throw. Greavesy said he had not seen a club with so many characters than at West Ham. Yeah, I think it's always been that kind of club, isn't it? I think, well, it's to say we've not had the most professional players. I think there might be a VR penalty check happening here. Have to watch this back. The handball. Just waiting. I haven't seen a replay back yet. Here we go. I can't see where the penalty was. No, was Bowen fouled? I don't think Bowen was fouled because he turned away. He turned away from the ball, so he never had control of it. Pete thinks it should be a pen. I don't think so. Still looking at it, taking their time. I wouldn't like to see that as a pen. No penalty. Yeah, no pen. I don't want to see penalties given for like crappy things like that. It's ridiculous. Matthew Letitia. I think Matt Letitia, I think there, but I mean, what a player he was. What a player. And that was, growing up in that era where every goal of the month competition, he'd have 2 or 3 in it. Absolute bangers. He scored some quality goals. And he always said he was just too lazy to go anywhere else. He had offers, didn't he? Offers to go to Tottenham. Man U wanted him. He just didn't want to leave where he lived. It's rare. But the money, again, if they come calling now, Letitia would move. So I just think players of that quality wouldn't be one club men for a smaller club. And I'm not including Noble in that. I'm talking about players with real quality. game match winners. And I'll probably get some hate for that, but Ross comes in, bobbling around, and they clear it. Come on, Rashford, get a cross in. Get a shot, do something. Shot comes in, blocked. Aye. Greavesy was something of a character. He was. Yeah, he was. Latisse, another sublime player, but definitely not an athlete. 100% not an athlete. Bentley said he quit because he found modern football boring. Yeah, I do. He was nuts as well, wasn't he? He didn't really care. He was one of those players that didn't care. He was just so naturally gifted and just fell out of love with the game. Then he played for Tottenham. You would find it boring. Okay, it's another corner to England. What's going to happen here? "30 minutes in, nothing's happened. Ross comes in, just straight into the keep side. Who took that corner? I don't know who took that. That was crap. Probably Rice. Robert said Stan Bowles. Yeah, I have no idea. Way before my time on that one. Oh, Latvia, knock it long. England win it back. Oh, fouled. I'm not going to try pronouncing the Latvians' names. Joy says that Bellingham is the only top quality player in the England team for him. As Rashford jinx. Get up, Rashford, win it back. I don't know about that. I mean, he's not been great so far. He was crap in the last game. Kane shoots, it's blocked. Chip comes in, cleared away. So does anyone think any of the other players are like world class? Any other England players at the moment are world class? I mean, you got the Harry Kane in that, surely. You can't say Harry Kane's not a top quality player. Brilliant. And I'd probably I'll put Rice in that as well. I don't think he's at the levels of Kane. Probably not Bellingham yet, but he's a quality player. Oh, lovely little back heel. Oh, that would have been a great goal from Bellingham. Okay, so back to the chats. Dean says, if Bowen bangs in a hat-trick, it's going to be difficult to stay calm. It's not looking likely, though, is it, Dean? Unfortunately, not looking likely at all. Malcolm says he's just seen that Soucek wants a new deal with the Hammers. Now the ball in his court, at least giving us priority over Moyes. Yeah, I think that's clever play by his agent. I think that is very clever. Knowing that Moyes has gone there. We know Moyes loves Soucek. It's the perfect player. He's the Fellaini type, absolutely loves him. So I can see why his agent's probably saying, yeah, look, sign a new deal. Do we want Soucek on another deal? I like Soucek. I do like him. I wouldn't have my hand forced over him. He's one of those sort of players. Now, how old is he now? I mean, he is. He's 30. He's 30, and his contract don't run out, does it? It's not expiring this season. According to Transfer Market, Soucek is worth 22 million. In this market, who knows? But he's going down. I mean, the highs at his peak, he was worth 45 million in 2022. According to Transfer Market, he's now worth half that. He's 30 now. It's not going to go back up, is it? And his contract doesn't expire for another 2 years. So He can want a new contract all he wants, Souček, but I don't think we'll get one. And I don't think you need to give him one. So for me, if I was Potter, I wouldn't give him a new deal. And if he throws his toys out the pram, we can get stuffed. Dean say you have to say Kane and Rice. Yeah, you've got to say them too. Cross comes in, headed over the bar again. How many shots have we had headed over the bar? Good cross from Bowen, but Bellingham just has too much on it. Steve says Kane, Rice, and Bellingham definitely. Bellingham more so if he can keep calm. Yeah, he does. But I like the aggression. I like because they tried to do that to Rooney, didn't they? It was like knock the aggression out of him, and it wasn't quite the same. So I like the aggression in the player. You just have to ride with it. That sometimes, it may put you in trouble. It's when players like Alvarez do it when they're crap anyway, and then he put you in worse trouble. That's what pees me off. But when you've got the Rooneys, the Bellinghams, the players that are the difference makers, you have to suck it up. Up the Villa say, get that useless prick Bowen off. He needs to focus on relegation. I haven't seen Rodgers touch the ball yet. I think he's been the worst player on the pitch, so been absolutely dog shit. So I think the Villa players go, well, where's Ollie Watkins in this? Oh, not there. You probably sub most of the team on this performance, says Pete. Yeah, to be honest, you could. It's been a duff one. Dean, sorry to hear you've not been too well, mate. Hopefully you are feeling a bit better this evening. I mean, this game must be relaxing you because there's not much to get excited about. Bellingham chops forward, chops back. And the Latvia wall blocks him again. Troy says, Kane has never won a trophy in his career. I think that will change this season. They didn't win anything last season, no. But he'll win something this year. And he's still a top quality player. I mean, what you're kind of digging at Kane for there is his loyalty at Tottenham, because he could have gone to bigger clubs all day long. But yeah, I mean, he's world class. Kane is world class, and I'd argue with anybody who says he wasn't. GP says Souček has a big sausage, they reckon, according to Claret and Hugh. That's nice information. That's good to know. Einik says that Souček is one of the few proper West Ham players, proven winner. We'll need more like him than check chasers that don't want to put a shift in. Yeah, I agree that he puts a shift in. I've got nothing against him for that. But I just wouldn't stump up. Like, he's on a 2-year contract. It'll be 32/33 when that contract expires. Are we going to sign him to his 35? Probably not. So why would you give someone a new contract? He signed that contract. He's got to honour it. I wouldn't put his money up. I don't see the reason to put his money up. He's not been amazing this season. Hasn't scored a crap load. We do poor in the league. Oh, brilliant free kick. England 1-0. Reece James hits an absolute spanker from about 30 yards. Brilliant goal. Got to watch that back. And I caught the tail end of that. It was so far out, I thought he's never going to shoot from there. But he has absolutely spanked it. That wasn't quite as far out as I thought. But it's a really good curler. Proper top bins, that. No saving that one. Beautiful free kick. Yeah, in fact, even the guy on the wall didn't jump, but even if he did, yeah, just no stopping that. Superb. Paul says, how does Rashford start? The only thing I can think of is that he wants to look at him. He wants to take a look in an English shirt. He doesn't really always start for Villa, so maybe we couldn't get a proper look at him. I mean, if you're not English, actually, or when Tuchel was back in England, Rashford was good, so he would have seen him when he was decent playing coming up against him, and he's really fallen off a cliff. But Yeah, I don't know how. I wouldn't start him. I wouldn't take him to the World Cup, to be honest. GP says, "Oh no, not James. It means Aaron Wan-Bissaka won't get in." Fat boy James of all players. It's not an X. I mean, he's a decent player. He is a decent player. I mean, that's praise. That's as much praise as you can get from Troy there, saying Payet would have been proud of that one. Okay, it's coming back to this Souček debate. Your Potter, you've got a play. Oh, cross comes in, corner. Was it a throw? No, it's goal kick. Player. So your Graham Potter. Would you re-sign or would you give Souček a new contract, knowing that he's got a contract up to his 33? Would you do that now? For me, nah. So we've got 5 minutes of this half left. Oh, there's a free kick to England. This one really is 40 odd yards out. More than that, 50 yards out. Okay, Steve says back to Sue. Keep him and play him as a box crasher only. Yeah. I mean, he's not going to get quicker, is he? I'm gonna get across. Rashford, take a shot. Oh my God, Rashford's shot would have easily have gone out for a throw in. It was that bad if it wasn't blocked. But it was off target. It was bending away anyway. That was awful. Malk says, I probably regret saying this. I'll keep him for a year and sell him. I mean, I agree, Malk, actually. I think if you keep him for another year, still then have a year on his contract and get a bit of cash for him. Moisey will buy him then all day long. If he scores the same amount of goals as next year, I'd give him an extension. How many goals has he scored this year, actually? 7. I mean, 7, again, 7 isn't bad, is it, really? 27 in 27, but yeah. Let's look at his full stats. There's Latvia, just play it around the back. Latvia win a corner in England's half. 3 minutes to go. Just show that free kick again. I mean, that's worthy of winning any game. But to be honest, hopefully it just forces them to come out a bit. They can't sit back now. I mean, it is a qualifier. It's not a friendly. So, but then do you think if you're Latvia, you want to protect the group? Oh, no. Yeah, do you want to protect your sort of goal difference? Latvia doing well there. Coming down the left wing. Cross comes in. Easy cut out by Gay, but he slips. Latvia could get a shot. They're going to shoot. They're going to shoot. Oh, straight at Pickford. Don't know what I was thinking, Dean. I mean, this I could not argue against. This was the biggest missed opportunity England have ever had. We definitely missed the best chance of winning a tournament in the Euros against Italy. 1-0 up against an aging Italian team. Just spunked it. Absolutely. Probably the worst England memory you'd ever have. That was ridiculous not winning that. Bowen, he's in the box. Shoots, blocked. Again, any shot that comes in, there's just Latvians in the way. There's just so many of them at the back. Rashford on the other side now. Back inside. Oh, Bellingham. Got away with that. Come on. Cross comes in. Early cross. That was better. Excuse me. Yeah, absolutely right. Southgate bottled in the second half. I still can't believe we didn't win that. So is that another corner? No, it's not. Oh, someone's down. Who's down? Reece? No, Konsa. Yeah, Konsa looks like he's down. Didn't see the tackle. Was he nudged? Yeah, I couldn't really see anything wrong with that. It slid. But he's pulled up straight away. So there's 2 minutes of this half to go. 2 minutes of injury time. Konsa's down. Yeah, I have no idea. I watched that replay back 2 or 3 times. Couldn't see what hurt and why he screamed out. So 40 seconds of this half to go. We're going to look at the subs in a minute, and then we'll try and work out who you would bring on. And who you take off. Is there a last chance for England to have a shot? Bellingham's chopped back so many times in this game. Cross comes in from Rashford. Oh, Rashford. You've got to get Rashford off. For me, Rashford off straight away. He's had an absolute mare. Cannot put a cross in. He always has to come back on his right and he can't cross with it. And that'll be half time. Don't think he'll bother kicking this out. It's over that time, probably because Konsa went down for a bit. So there might be another 10 seconds or so. We could have scored. Come on, bring that back to the London Stadium, will you, mate? And Latvia offside. That's got to be half time, surely. Rashford can't even fool himself when he's trying to dribble. I know he's weird, isn't he? He's a strange player at the moment. All that promise could be like we were talking about earlier. You know, money ruins them, and the free score meal shit. Out to Bowen. Come on, Bowen, get in there. Drive at him. Good cross. Oh, shot. Unlucky. Bowen almost got an assist there. Good cutback. Actually, a good save by Latvia keeper. Very tight angle, hard from Rodgers. But that is half time. Well, thoughts on that performance? How would you rate that out of 10 as an England performance? And who would you bring off? Dean says that Rashford needs to come off. Blimey, he's nowhere near the player he was. People keep calling him a kid. They forget he's 27, just not good enough. Is he 27? He's been around for ages, isn't he? Yeah, I mean, Troy says actually Gordon's got to be our best option on the left. I know, yeah, he's taken some knocks and he's injured, but I probably agree with that. Who else is on the left that you would take? Could you put Bowen out there again? I like in internationals, I like people to be the right foot. I don't like all this cutting back in. And Rashford does it, but he just can't cross. What's the bloody point? Dean, a little bit biased, I think, says that Bowen's been the best player in that half by miles. I don't know. I don't think it has been a great player. I think it's been pretty crap. All Bellingham's done is chop back. Rashford can't cross. And we're just not breaking him down. He's doing okay. He's doing okay. But, yeah, it's a weird one. Pete says, it feels sorry for people who've taken the long time, taken the time off work and travelled from up north for that. I mean, isn't it always the same though, England? I mean, England games are like that. They're just, yeah. Unless it's a tournament, I love England. Like, you know, I'm all about the England shirts, getting down to the pubs. Brilliant atmosphere. Qualifiers. The International League of Ponyness. All that's just rubbish. GP says that rating was a Southgate spunk special, 3 out of 10. Yeah, we're not really seeing the best of what England can do against teams like this, because it's just, you just can't have those like fast-paced attacks. You want to play some decent teams. We're not going to have that, unfortunately. Pete says they've had a few hacks at Bowen. Don't want him injured. Yeah, 100%. Dean says that was a 10 out of 10 performance for keeping his blood pressure down. About right. Robert says that Bowen's always shooting. He needs to lay off it more. I don't think of this game. I'd afford him a few shots. I think he could have a few shots in this because Rashford ain't doing it. I mean, Kane that's hardly had a touch, really. It's been a weird one. Bellingham's been poor. Yeah, I mean, we did probably the player ratings a bit, more towards the end of the match, but I don't think anyone's got over a 6. Can't say anyone's done pretty good. So, yeah, let's see what Tuchel can do at half time. Let's see what his half time German team talks do for England. Yeah, actually, Troy, that's probably fair with the free kick. You'd have to say he's probably the only one would have got a 7. Dean, no bias. Yeah, whatever. Lewis Skelly, best player, intercepted a few times, took on players, distributed forward. I mean, he's got very far forward, Liam. Totally agree with that. He's for the position he's in. I like it, but all of our defence is in that half. It's so compact. So, great for us in terms of we're just on their box. And they're never going to counter us. We've got the pace to, that defence has got pace. So we're going to get back and block anything. Although we were lucky. There could have been a goal from Latvia with a Pickford defender running into each other. So, Steve, no, Latvia are not much of a test. Be fair, but if they're not much of a test, shouldn't we be beating them more than 1-0? I'd have thought we'd have been 3-0 up by half time, but. That's England for you. GP's on a wind up. She's saying Henderson needs to play. No, definitely not. At least the first half goal woke you up from that for a halftime cuppa, which inspired Troy to put the kettle on. I'm too far from the kettle, so it's got me juice. Steve says, I cannot imagine the question if Henderson needs to play is the question. Yeah, I can't argue with that. I don't know why he's there. He can only be there to carry the bags. I can't see any other reason. So they're in the studio here with Roy Keane looking miserable. I mean, he always looks miserable, but even more so. But they are showing that free kick again. I mean, it was pinpoint. That would have scored against any team in the world. Curl on it was beautiful. Beautiful. Troy, how many sugars you having? I'm guessing you're a 3 sugars man. I don't know why. Just got the feeling. But he says that players are worried about getting injured and missing the games for their clubs. Oh, I don't know. Don't know if they are. I mean, you shouldn't be worried about getting injured. I mean, Latvia, actually, to be fair, they're not kicking lumps out of us. You think, I don't think that can happen as much this day and age. If you go back 10, 20 years, that's kind of, you played against these crap teams, they just kicked you for 90 minutes and the refs would kind of let it go and let it go. But now it can't really happen anymore. So now all they can do is just sit back and block. So yeah, it does get a bit pants. Don't tell me you're like Nick and have some of that funny Chinese bark tree tea crap that he drinks. Can't have anything like that, surely. Liam says you've got to have at least 5. 2, and there's a giant West Ham mug. Is that one of those Sports Direct massive mugs that people just use to keep pens and crap in the cupboard? Because you need about 3 tea bags to actually get a decent cup of tea out of it. Rob says that Henderson must do the music. He's just got to be dressing room DJ. Can't do anything else, surely. Yeah, actually, Steve, clear it. Steve says, is it Troy or Troj? Yeah. How do you pronounce it? Should know by now, shouldn't we, mate? The cup was a birthday present. I think someone's saying you got a big mouth. If you getting you a cup 1.5 times the normal size, is that what it was? Okay. As we're at half time and not really much to talk about in that game, I'm going to throw out a question. No Googling. England played in the world's first ever international football match in 1872, finished in a 0-0 draw against which team? Let's see if we can get that in your... Oh, it is Troj. Troj. I'll try and remember that. 35 of us. 42 at the moment. We've gone up 7. It's half time for you. To be honest, England watch along is always going to be a struggle. So England played in the world's first ever international football match in 1872. Who did we play? Chuck your guesses in the comments. Correct, Dino. It was Scotland. All right, I'm going to give you another one. Sir Bobby Robson played for which 2 English clubs? Sir Bobby Robson played for which 2 English clubs? Who would you bring on at half time as well? Who would you be bringing on? Let's see. So, lineups. We have on the subs bench, we've got Kyle Walker, Phil Foden, Jordan Henderson, Dan Burn, Dean Henderson, Levi Colville, Eze. What am I seeing Eze on? Curtis Jones, Morgan Gibbs-White, Dominic Solanke, Quansah, and James Trafford. Joe the Hammer says Ipswich and someone. Do you know, I thought it was Ipswich, but it wasn't. No, Ipswich is not the right. Someone says put Gordon on to give us more directness. Yeah, he's injured, Gordon, so he's not around. We should have got Eze. Yeah, too late now. Did we have the opportunity to get Eze? We probably have the opportunity to get a lot of players. Liam saying Rashford and Bellingham off. Who would you put on instead of them? I mean, Rashford I get. I'd like to see get Eze on for Rashford. Who would you put on for Bellingham, though? It's not Jordan Henderson. Gibbs White. Curtis Jones. Quite good in that role. Joe, yeah, he managed him. He went from Ipswich to England, I think. Okay, that's stumping a few people. So the answer, which two teams did Sir Bobby Robson play for? It was Fulham and West Brom. Apparently Moyes wanted Eze. Didn't know that. I mean, wanting him and affording him, two different things. Oh, did Richard B get that? Sorry, buddy. So you did. I missed that, Rich. Sorry, mate. Thank you for picking that out, Joe. Okay. They're not really showing any highlights at half time. Who did you bring off? Who would you bring on? Let's have your comments as I do my laces up. You are too modest. Far too modest, mate. Everybody's saying Rashford off, I think. Don't actually care who comes on. Okay, who would we like to see? Yeah, I'd like to see Eze on. And Gibbs White's had a really good season. And get Kane off as well. Kane's not done anything. Not that I think Solanke's the answer to England. I think he's I don't think Solanke will go to the World Cup. That's one area we're probably lacking a bit of depth, actually. But unless Kane gets injured, I can't see Solanke getting a game for England. I just can't. Maybe get Trafford on. See what. I mean, to be honest, you can get Trafford on. You can put Solanke in goal for this one because probably won't have a shot to save. So what's the point? GP says put on Eze. Gibbs, take off Roger the Rabbit and Rashford. Yeah, Roger's been rubbish, actually. He hasn't done anything in the game. Absolute crap from Villa. Okay, let's do another question. Who spent, let me tell that, which England player, which England international, spent the 2013-2014 season on loan at Notts County, and he's said to almost single-handedly kept them in League One. I'm going to put the question in the chat. Steve said, yeah, you wouldn't want to be number 2 striker in the squad, never get past Kane. It's like being that kind of backup keeper, isn't it? Like if you were Shilton's backup, you're like, I'm just going for a holiday, going along to be with the lads. Never going to get on. Exactly the same anyone who's behind Kane. He's only one striker these days. No one plays 2 up top. So, yeah, you're right, Steve. Joe says, so far, he's really unimpressed with Tuchel's squad selection. If he was West Ham manager, there'd be YouTubers calling for him to be sacked already. I'm sure there's probably England fans wanting him sacked already. I mean, the thing is as well, if you're Tuchel, you're German, managing the England national team, you've got to impress quickly, because I don't know, if we won the World Cup with a German manager, I don't know, for me that don't seem right. I mean, I'll take us winning the World Cup. That's the trade-off. But shame Eddie. I mean, Eddie Howe's doing well. Now he's won a cup as well. You know, could have been the right man. So hopefully Eddie Howe will come in. I'm not sure if we'll win the World Cup. I mean, what do you think? Do you think England will win the World Cup? We're not doing great now, but we're playing a crap team. I think we do play our best football against better teams, and we'll beat these teams. You know, we'll beat Latvia. We'll beat any crap they put in front of us in the groups. Not impressively. You know, we'll struggle to beat them, but we'll beat them. So, do you think we'll win the World Cup? That is the question. Hey, hello there, Jack. Jack Rolls Aviation, getting his branding in. Yeah. Free promo for you to all 40 of us. So back to the question, who spent 2013-2014 season on loan with Notts County and said to almost single-handedly keep them up? Ramsdale, no. Dele Alli, not. Is it a goalkeeper? I'll give you this. It's not a goalkeeper. Dean, you are the first to get it. No, it's not Gio. That's me. But yes, it was Grealish. And Steve almost come... No, I'm not saying he was international. Didn't say he was international at the time. I said which England international. He's been I mean, he's not in England international now, technically, but England international. GP. Ooh, controversial. I don't think it matters what nationality a manager is when Declan is such a flip-flop between Ireland and England. I mean, the game has kicked off, but nothing's happened in it, by the way. No, that was me, Dean. I dropped it in there because it was a long question, so I didn't want to keep reading it out. Yeah, but you're right, Steve. But I mean, I didn't add that detail in. You've jumped to conclusions, so not my fault on that one. Okay, England are Kemp's in the other half. Declan plays it out. I didn't see if there's any subs. Rashford's still on though. Yeah, it's strange that I don't think he's made any subs. I'm not going to argue with you, Steve. You can take that one if you want. So yeah, actually, Robert, you picked up on that, and you're right. They have swapped wings. That's because they know that you can't cross Rashford. So is that going to weaken Bowen's claim? What a great tackle, Declan. Oh, that was such a good tackle. Nothing wrong with that at all. Honestly, I don't think you can tackle in the modern game. Refs hate it. There's nothing wrong with that. What timer am I on? I'm watching it on ITVX. So it is 48:50. Great. So this is the problem when you watch it out in the bar. See, I'm watching it on the laptop. I'm going to hit refresh. Not even watch it on a hooky Fire Stick. I'm on 50 minutes now. Yeah. Do you know what, Dane? It's weird because I used to have a Fire Stick, which was magical. Then I got Now TV, which is part of Sky. So when you're watching the West Ham watch-alongs, but it was, Now TV, which you had to pay the subscription for, was a minute behind. You think it's the same thing, but somehow it delays for a minute. So I got rid of that with Magical Fire Stick back. Magical Radio. Magical Radio. Yeah, Steve, you're absolutely right. GP says, I feel that Gio and Gonzo and Nick have mugged you off doing this boring match. Well, it's not much far off the West Ham games, to be honest, is it? It's not been the most exciting season. Like we definitely joined at the wrong season. It has been a pain in the butts this season. Oh, they're just showing that. They're just showing that replay with Gahey and Pickford. They should have scored. Craig is live and 40 seconds ahead. Well, Craig, why are you not here, mate? Come and do this. Give me a night off. I have to sit and watch this crap. Can't even go and have a cup of tea or some chocolate. It's too far. Unbelievable. Steve says we've scored once. That's better than most West Ham games. Good point. And a beautiful goal, to be fair. But what do you think we should have... Before we kicked off, what do you think we should win this game? So I think I put 5-0. I think I put 5-0. I have to go right back to the beginning now. Yeah, got me a 5-0. Where was my 6-0? I put 6-0. This was my pre-game prediction. I tell I'm a West Ham optimist. Yeah, Dane, we're dreamers. We are the dreamers of of this channel, unfortunately. Hey, there's still time. Steve would take 2-0. Troy says he thought it would be 3-0. Ironix the same. Good tackle by James. Wins it back well. Joe says that football is getting so boring. I think it's becoming out. I think the tactics are playing a part, aren't they? Just waiting for Rashford cross straight in somebody's face. Actually, Joe, this is a really good point because I think all this sideways possession and stats, and this is probably where stats are killing it a bit because you want to have possession, you want to have passes. If for example, a contract pass completion is part of it or something like that, I don't know the contracts ins and outs, but do you think we'll end up in a situation where, like in rugby, because rugby went through the same problem where tries weren't getting scored so much, they were using kicking too often. And so to combat that, they brought in the bonus points. So if you scored, if it was a high scoring game, you got extra points. Do you think that's something that could work in football? Is that a step too far? But actually with that bring back more free flowing attacking football. Just a thought. I'm throwing it out there. Richard says this is the modern game. Cross comes in, it's cleared. They're doing well in the air. To be fair, they are winning a lot of balls in the air. Bowen get a cross in. Oh, that is a terrible cross. This is the modern game. Ballfest, best league in the world, though. Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? Do you know I went to watch Colchester versus Port Vale last week, and that was better. That was better than watching some of the Premier League games. Just it's they just go for it. There's no real tactics in League Two. Just want to score. Joe says it's been boring since the COVID season. Yeah. Troy says Championship's more entertaining than Prem and no VAR. Yeah, that was nice. That's definitely a good thing. Jack says that how is it when Bissaka hasn't been picked for us? Hasn't been picked. He's been classed for us. I don't know. He's a little bit. He's good. He's very good for West Ham, but his positioning is a little bit iffy. I think England as they defend it again. Latvia. Oh, that's a crunching tackle from Bellingham. That's upset them a little bit. But ref hasn't given me a yellow card. Let's watch that tackle back. Bellingham. Oh, kind of, yeah. It could be a painful one. That it wasn't malicious, but his knee went into the back of him. So I don't know if Bellingham knew what he was doing then. Troy, this is 100%. VAR killed off the passion to celebrate a goal because Antonio was going through that spell, wasn't he, where he was doing all these different celebrations, and then he said he weren't going to do it anymore because of VAR because he looks stupid if it's ruled out. Totally agree with that. Troy, Troj. I've got to stop saying Troy now. No, I know it's Troj. Troj says it's actually hard to say that. Troj. Also, more real crowds in the Championship. Yeah, you do get kind of, I guess, proper fans, not the tourists. Joe says your local Colchester. Yeah, Colchester's a 5-10 minute drive from me. So, yeah, I live in Colchester. Hence why I don't go to the West Ham games so much these days. I used to live in Romford, but moved out a few years back. So, Colchester, wrong end of Essex, really. Well, yes, I grew up on Canvey Island. So I lived, that's, no webbed fingers. I'm not one of those Islander retards. But then I lived in Southend, Romford, lived all over Essex, to be honest, and in London as well. Joe says it's the best end of Essex. Someone says Essex ends on Lakeside. Southend on Mud. I don't know if that's you talk about Canvey then. Probably. And yes, they let me off the island. I escaped. It's like a gravitational pull. Everybody knows everybody. You go to school there, same pubs. But yeah, it was all right. I liked it. I like growing up in Canvey. It was all right. Both my kids are born in Southend, though. Richard said they should copy ice hockey and have power plays. Now, I've heard of them. I don't know how they work. Richard, if you want to explain that, I've got no idea. I've never been to an ice hockey game. I wouldn't mind going, actually, because it looks quite brutal. Come on, get a cross in. Rashford with the ball, steps over, cross straight to the keeper. He's having a stinker, an absolute stinker. Honestly, he cannot cross. Rashford can't cross. Why you stick him out wide, I've just no idea. George says, do people chase each other with machetes in Canby too? I mean, it's got that way, to be honest. Steve says, I tried to avoid Canby. Don't want to have the jabs. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Tropical climates of Canvey Island. I'm sure that's what you mean. Yeah, you've got the piss squaddies to avoid in Colchester. I don't go out in Colchester town too much, I'll be honest. Oh, go on. Man, we've been so crap in the box today. Yeah, I mean, it's strange because you do have military police like roaming the streets on a night out because they know they all get leery. Bowen off. To be honest, he's been okay, but no one's been great. But it's good to see Eze. We got to try him. It's 60 minutes. Just make wholesale. I'd say you make wholesale changes, but it's only 1-0. I mean, Latvia are actually technically still in this. They're not had much, but you never know. Phone off. It was decent. Happy he did 60 minutes. Yeah, he did 60 minutes. He didn't do anything wrong, but there's no one in the box. No one has been in the box to get on anything. We've been really poor up front. That's probably why he's afraid to bring Kane off. But Kane's done nothing. Come on, Eze. Run at him, chops back, get a cross in. Cross comes in. That's a good ball. Oh, it's unlucky. Corner, England. Matt says he's better than Rashford. 100% he's better than Rashford. Rashford's been awful. I mean, been really bad. I don't understand how Rashford's still on the pitch. Okay. England corner. Harry Kane, come on, get on a header. Cross comes in. Headed away. Latvia have been very, very good defensively in the air. You think it's only been a worldie free kick that could get us out of trouble here? It's pathetic, really. Eze picks it up, falls over. That'll give away a foul. Yep. Iron Disciple. Love that. Rooting for England from New York. Good lad, good lad. John says Bowen off, Rashford on. I think we're all thinking exactly the same. Tactical, was it? Bowen knew. I mean, actually, that is a worry because he's a Liverpool type player, isn't he, Bowen? Really direct, quick. He would suit him. Please don't take him, Liverpool. We couldn't sell him. I don't know if he's got a buyout clause, but come on, England, get through. Harry Kane gets shot. Oh, just wide. Very quick feet. So quick. I mean, the keeper was absolutely rooted there. Matt says that Watkins deserves a chance over Kane. Kane's fantastic. Would be good to see other strikers on. I did think Thomas Hood kept Foden in the 11. Good to see some changes. Yeah. I think Watkins is decent. He's good. I don't think anyone's on Kane's level for England. But we know what Kane can do. And sometimes Kane, I don't know. There's some games he suits and some that he doesn't. And I think we need a bit of pace. Problem is, we've actually probably not for this game because Ollie Watkins needs pace. He likes spaces to run into. And they're not giving us any space because they're just sat back. So Ollie Watkins is better against probably the teams that are a bit more expansive. But, it's always going to be tough to score anything against this lot. I'm not sure about this one, GP. Konza looks pants. Kilman is better. Well, Jory's still out on Kilman for me. I'm not saying he's bad. He's probably the best defender we've got. Actually, him and Tadibo are good. But still haven't quite clicked, I think. In the box. Let's see some stats in this game because nothing's really bloody happening. So England have had 18 shots and only 3 on target. That is woeful. That's really bad. 500 passes to their 151. 95% pass accuracy. I mean, 18 shots and 3 on target. I mean, that's really bad. They blocked a lot, but still awful. Joe asks, is Ivan Toney in the squad? No. Should he be? It's tough, isn't it? It is tough when you're out in that sort of league. But I like Toney. Before he went there, all day long, have a cross to no one. I'd put Ivan Toney as number 2 for England all day long. But I think as soon as you go out to Saudi, stock drops massively. Croatia still better team than England All Stars. I mean, there's got to be better games on tonight, isn't there? Rice gets the ball. Come on, get a shot off. Oh, too much. Just too much fannying around. Yeah. I mean, Latvia break. They're never going to break anywhere near our goal. As a Latvia player runs it out. Come on, we need some subs. Get some fresh legs on here. Foden's coming on. Yeah, Joe, you're right. Like with Toney, it's hard to judge the quality of a player. Luckily, we know his quality before, but I think if you play to the level I always say this to kids, don't you? When kids play football, you want your kids playing in the best league they can play regularly in, not the best league they can get to. But if you I've had it when my son's played in A League team. Got promoted from a B team. When they go up to the A League, doesn't play as much. You probably think the B League is the right level, and that's where he gets more game time, and that's where he'll learn more. So we know that he's definitely at that level, but the problem is he's playing down now, so he won't play against gooder players. He just drops off. Hey, England score, Harry Kane. Finally, a good cross. I think it was, don't know, put that in. Declan Rice put a good cross in there. Okay, let's watch this one back. 67 minutes, England 2-0. Now we can relax, put some subs on. So the ball was played out to Rashford. Rice makes a really good run down, straight across the box, easy tapping. Great run from Rice to come that deep. Kane don't miss those. But that was all about Rice's run. Trained at West Ham, of course. Okay, Matt poses a good question. Do you think the Dawson should have had an England cap when playing for us? He was a beast during Europe and the Premiership. Only saying because Dan Burn got his first cap at 32. It's a tough. I mean, I love Dawson. I thought he was brilliant. Plus, I mean, he's good for a goal as well. He was good for a goal. But at the time, you kind of had Harry Maguire was. If you talk like last World Cup, for example, around that sort of time, you're thinking. I mean, better than Eric Dyer, I'd say that. But you're thinking Harry Maguire, John Stones, even Ben White was in at that time. Going back to the last one, Connor Cody was good. I don't know, probably not England level, but he was brilliant for us. He was awesome. A lot saying that Dawson was a rock. Yeah, it was a rock. He was there. It would have been there or thereabouts. This one I don't agree with. I just don't think Noble was ever England quality. Never at that level. Who would you have dropped for Noble? Really? I mean, we've had a very strong midfield, England. Noble's just not been I know he's West Ham through and through. We all love him, but no, I would not have wanted Noble in the England team. Not if you want to win anything. Uh, 71 goals now. Harry Kane. I mean, sort of game you think he'd bang in a few more in this one, but Steve saying Noble was certainly consistent enough during his time. Yeah, he was consistently okay. Again, would never drag a team for a game, wouldn't let you down. But you've got to be something special to play for England. When you do hear like players, I know like Jimmy Bullard was saying, he said he thought he was a good player until he went to train for England, and then just like pinging it around, like ping, 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 ping. He's like, oh, he knows he's in trouble. And I think Noble would have been the same. Like, good, great for West Ham, brilliant servant. Unfortunately, just not England level. That's just my opinion. Trudge says, Kane gets his tap in versus the minnows. He said that earlier, didn't he? He only scores against poor teams. That's a good tackle. GP says, drop Gareth Barry for Noble. No, Gareth Barry is a better player than Noble. Latvia pushing forward a little bit now, a bit more now. And Latvia get a corner. Man, I wish I brought some chocolate in. Latvia corner. Good header away. Shoots. Oh, absolute blaster of a shot, but blocked. And England going to break. Oh, come on. Rashford, just put a cross in now. Now. What is he doing? Back heels it. Kane. Well, Latvia's got everyone back now. Okay. It's all broken down. Matt says Noble's been one of England's most consistent midfielders, regardless of stature and CV. Noble could command the midfield. His passing and intelligence beats most players. He was a favourite. I just don't think he would have got as many games elsewhere if he wasn't such a big West Ham fan. I mean, he gave his all. Don't get me wrong, gave his all. And that's all you can ask from. All you can ask West Ham players, those players. We've had some crap. I'm not saying he's crap. We've had some crap players in the time that have given everything for West Ham, and so you really buy into him. But he's not as good as I think some West Ham fans think. That's just my take. Joe says, yeah, I don't think Noble would have been a starter, but there were seasons when he should have been in the squad and could play those sort of games. Yeah, again, I think maybe you're right. Maybe he could have got into the England squad, but with no realistic chance of ever staying there. What is the point? It's just a wasted spot for someone else. Jack says, what's your favourite chocolate? Cadbury's all day long. Can't go Nestle or... Yeah, can't go anything else. But what's the best chocolate bar? I'm like a Chewy. I'm like a Star Bar, a Picnic, Toffee Crisp, any chocolate with a bit of chew. That's a foul. You're going to have a free kick. Matt says Mark is very underrated, especially with their own fan base. No, I say he's a decent Premier League player. And when I say decent, let me refer it. Who would I put him up against as England shoot and get a third goal? Really good by Eze then. Good trickery. That's what he wants. Directness. I'm going to come back to your question in a second, Match. Got to talk about this one. So 3-0. I think Tuchel's going to make some changes now. But the Latvia captain was turned inside and out. Ball pumped out wide. Well onside. I mean, he had a lot to do. Looked like he was going to cross at one point. Comes in, comes out. Yeah, it's good footwork. Absolutely turned the defender inside and out. Couldn't cope with him. Oh, took a deflection in the end, actually. So let's see. It was an own goal. Yeah. I don't know if it was on target. I couldn't quite tell. But it certainly hit Latvia's number 5 and went in. So coming back, Matt. I mean, I don't think he's good as players like, Scott Parker. Scott Parker was a better player. If you'd have said you could have had Scott Parker for the whole of his career or Noble, I'd have taken Parker all day long. Yeah, totally agree with that. Couldn't Noble have played for Ireland? Not sure. If he could have, he wasn't picked. So if he weren't getting picked for Ireland, can't get in the Ireland team. Definitely not good enough for the England team. If he had some heritage, yeah, I've no idea. Matt says, did Scott Parker deserve to play for England? Yeah, I think in his prime, I think he was better. But again, England had that midfield at that time. It was so strong. You are talking. You're competing with Lampards and even like Beckham. Well, you're talking like that's the Lampard, Gerrard, Beckham era. Or even Scholesy. I mean, got towards the end. The crossover in midfield that England have always had a strong midfield. That's definitely an area I don't think we've ever really struggled in. For us, it's usually been, and strikers have always had a good striker. But yeah, we've had some iffy defences. But that's what's always let us down. Troj agrees. And yeah, he did. Yeah, Starbar. Great shout. Love a Starbar. Can't knock a fruit and nut. An all-time classic. Timeout. Timeouts are okay, but it's nothing to them. I think they're kind of too much wafer, not enough chocolate. Not as... Hey, Rashford's coming off. Thank God. Curtis Jones coming on. Jordan Henderson coming on, because we really need to see what he can do for England. Jordan Henderson makes me laugh. Just bangs on about the rainbow and how he's such a rights activist. Goes over to Saudi for mega money, forgets all of it. Absolute cop out of a fella. Can't stand him. Just, yeah, virtue signalling footballer. Not a fan. Steve says Scott Parker was probably more commanding, especially with us towards the end of his time. But then our manager was shit too. Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. Eze doing what Rashford couldn't. Cut in, but actually beat someone and finish. Yeah, completely. Oh, who's a better player between Souček and Noble? Well, Souček scored more. I mean, take away the penalties. I'm not counting the penalties. Better player. I think probably similar skill levels. I'd say that. I think actually that's probably a good comparison. I think in terms of football ability, Noble and Souček were pretty much the same, but Noble could take penalties. Souček can get headers. But I'll probably put them on a par. Malk, I don't know how you have the restraint to have a fruit and nut and then leave that for another day. You, sir, are a guru. You should let us know how you can actually do that. Once the chocolate bar wrapper comes open, especially these days, because there's nothing of them, half the size when we was kids. Like they go. You can't. Even like the share bags. Yeah, balls. Who's ever shared a share bag? Like the size of a normal bag. England just passed it around now. Cross comes in. Easy for the keeper. Troj says he doesn't buy Cadbury's anymore, or Badbury's. Probably not bad name for it. Probably, I'm assuming, is that either were bought out by Kraft, so it's all Americanized, or because they're just tiny now. England have it in the box. About 10 minutes to go on this one. Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, everyone, this is a strange one as well. Everyone loves, all professionals say that Scholesy was amazing. And he was class. He was absolutely class. But yeah, it was played in weird positions, wasn't it? Because I think it was so desperate. England was so desperate to get Lampard and Gerrard as those two central midfielders. It pushed Scholesy out. And I think Scholesy just kind of fell out of love with playing with England. Go on, shoot. Oh. That's a good save from the keeper. Yeah, totally agree. I just don't know what's the point of putting Henderson in. What is the point? You jammy bastard, MC. How long has that been there, though? That's the question. Been sat under a rotting turnip for 3 weeks. Yeah, no, you're right, Matt. It's Mark, by the way, Matt. But that's fine. No, or Northie. I'm in Northie. But yeah. Oh, shot comes in. Oh, blocked. Good save. Stop it being 4-0. Yeah, I mean, he probably could have got a cap. Look, Carlton Palmer got a cap. Francis Jeff has got a cap for England. So there have been crap players that have got a cap. I totally get it, but you know, would you want a cap if you come on for a cameo against San Marino? It's not really much of it. I think most of us could probably have a knock around if you're surrounded by 10 other world-class players against crappy teams. I don't think it makes sense. But yeah, I'll take your point. Probably could have got a cap. We've had, especially under some of the managers. Turnip Head, for example. Oh, Picnic. Corner for England. Picnic's my favourite, followed by the very rare dark chocolate bounty. And Topic. Now, I went looking for a Topic yesterday. I was in co-op with my 15-year-old. And I went, I fancy a Topic. She looked at me like I'd never heard of it. Topics are the nuts. But yeah, you're right. You can't get them anywhere. Topics are a struggle to find in a lot of stores. I mean, but they are tiny. They're a 2 chomp. That's what I should rename them. Topic 2 chomps. Corner comes in. I mean, that crossing today has been really bad. We've had some awful crosses. And we're currently up to 23 shots, 6 on target. It's a better percentage now. Latvia have had 3 shots, 1 on target. And England get a free kick. Jack says something that he tried to buy Do Miss that got discontinued. It was a Milky Way crispy roll. I don't think I ever tried them. I mean, I'm not a fan of Milky Way. Again, they're one of those things that when you get I always lose track if they're heroes or the other one, but they're always the things that get left at the end. People either leave bounties, which is good because I like a bounty, so I'll let everybody leave them, clear up at the end. But Milky Way is kind of the other one that's always left at the end. I mean, what is a chocolate bar that you like, but most people dislike? Bounty. I quite like, I think it's Roundtree's. Turkish Delight. I quite like a Turkish Delight. Or near miss from England. But nobody seems to like Turkish Delight. I'm not talking about the proper one covered in ice and sugar or flour, or whatever it is. Get crap everywhere. The proper chocolate one. Malk has been on Nut Watch. Picnic used to be good when it had more nuts, but they have drastically reduced the toffee nut part. Too much raisins for you. Dean, actually, you've summed this up brilliantly, I think. I think we have to look at Soucek like we do Noble, Ginge. Never the most skillful, but brilliant player, gave everything for us. Totally agree. Totally agree. You know, I think people do hate on Soucek, and it's harsh because, you know, he'd run through brick walls for West Ham. I think he's good. And he gets goals, you know. He does put his fair share in. There's on 86 minutes. I mean, the England stadium's half empty now. I think everyone's trying to get off a bit early. Joe says he's got 2 toddlers. Any chocolate's gone in seconds. They're only toddlers. Put your chocolate up higher, mate. Get it out of the reach. Galaxy, yeah. See, best man, my best mate. Best man at my wedding. He's lover of Galaxy. Ripples. He loves Galaxy Ripples. I'm like, throw a flake. But I don't like either of those really because they're just too messy, but there you are. Okay, if we take away 41 and Bowen, I don't think our English boys will get into England. Antonio did, but got injured. Tompkins, Carroll, Dallin, Nolan would not get a sniff back then. Yeah, I mean, again, Carroll was one of them. If he'd have stayed fit, if he hadn't got that injury, but we probably wouldn't have played for us if he hadn't got that injury because he was, well, he must have when he was young, when he was just a bully, just massive, great in the air, good score. But yeah, just absolutely knackered as a human, unfortunately. Dean, this is a tough one. Scholes better for me technically than Lamps. Probably right, actually. Lamp weren't massively technical, but engine on him was ridiculous. Hence why he got so many. Well, that's a crunching tackle. But Lamps was mustard. You got to admit. I mean, I know he went from West Ham, but I don't think that was really his fault. I think it was West Ham fans half-handed him out. But he was really, really, really good for Chelsea. Like, definitely got to go down as one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. Yes, Joe, I agree with this one. Scholes may be playing for England soon enough. I think he hasn't put a foot wrong since he's coming into the squad. Yeah, and I didn't say size-wise. Matt, I'm just saying kind of ability-wise. They're probably, you know, they gave everything. Not great players, but gave everything. So I think they're similar in that sense. Scholes has gone from the English Xavi to Carl Pilkington. Carl Pilkington's brother after seeing him on these fan debates. Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. I think he's one of those ex-players that are a bit cringy to watch. Scholes is one, Owen's another. There's a few ex-players when you just think, I don't know if you should be talking here. So it's a weird one. Ross comes in. That's a poor header, that was. Einik says none of the chocolate tastes as good as it used to. After they replaced cocoa butter with palm oil, all the big brands did it. Dairy Milk, Quality Street, Roses, nasty. And I just think that's when craft foods come in and took them over. They Yeah, it wasn't the same. Has anyone been to the Cadbury's factory? I think we mentioned this in the last watch along. It's definitely worth a shout. Take the kids, walk around and just have a basket. They throw chocolate in. Nice. Good day out. Do you know, MC, I do remember vice versa's. And I've got to look them up. Let's have a look. They were, yeah, that's right. Like Smarties, black and white. White chocolate and dark and milk chocolate. Smarties, best way to describe them, really. Can't say I was a massive fan of them, but I do remember them. A few people after the old Bounty Darks. Yeah, Turkish Delight. Turkish Delight is lovely. But do you ever have that Turkish Delight when you go into like a kebab shop sometimes and they have that with a cocktail stick in it? That kind of Turkish Delight. It's not Turkish Delight, but it's something like it. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Have you ever had that? They do it in a Curvan in Romford. You've been to Curvan Kitchen, quite a few of them around. But they always do that on the counter as you're waiting. It's a bit odd. I don't know if it's just me. Walnut whips. Yeah, walnut whips are all right. But again, I don't know who makes it, but it's not Cadbury's. So the chocolate's not great. Well, I do like the walnut, do like the whip, but I'm not a fan of the chocolate on that. Toby's another one for Tabby, sorry, another one for Star Bars. Revels, yeah, that's a great shout. I don't even mind the coffee ones. As a kid, it was like, oh, I don't want a coffee one. Cane shoots, blocked. Oh, bad touch. What's the best Revel? What's the Revel you don't want? For me, the hard toffee is my favourite one. Whenever I share them with my wife, she's always digging out the little Galaxy, what are they called? Minstrels. She nicks all the minstrels. Right, you have the rest. Thanks. Toblerone. It's the only thing. Yeah, that's Swiss chocolate, so that won't have it. But yeah, they're expensive. You only get them in airports. So whenever you go on holiday, you grab a Toblerone. Apart from that, don't do it. What is this, Malk? Couldn't believe it when I went to buy a Mama Walnut Whip and they were doing them without the effing walnut. Nut allergies have just taken over. I didn't even notice that. But I ain't had one in years. I have not had one in years. And that's the game over. I was quite enjoying the chocolate chat, to be honest. But England win. Let's just see if there's any last-minute comments here. Don't want to miss out on anything. Jack, I can't get started on Freddo's. The whole Freddo debate. That's another show. That's a whole other show. Can't be doing that. Dime bars, yes. Toblerone's 11 out of 10. Okay, is there any football chat here? Dean says, Scholes is proper miserable, but he's funny as on the overlap when he's on. God, I've got to catch up here. Jimmy Hill was the best pundit. Ski off that chin and win a gold medal. Right. Eze just scuppered. I mean, it's a good shout, Mick, actually. Eze just scuppered Bowen's playing career. But did he? The problem is, I would say, yes, that's right. But Rashford was so crap. Like, he should have been off. So really, it should have been Eze and Bowen. I think Eze and Bowen, very direct, forward-thinking. Strikers are going to go out defences. And for me, Rashford should bugger off. Hopefully, Eze has ended Rashford's career, not Bowen's. Fingers crossed. Yeah, I mean, only because you come on for him. So I agree with that, but I think Rashford out. I think Bowen will continue to play well for West Ham. Rashford, I think he's just spent force. I don't think he's any good. Okay, as Paul said, a lot of people have left the stadium early. And Inex, well done. Inex, you got the score prediction. You're going to start betting. That's it, everyone. Look, thanks very much for joining us. I will be off ski. Hope you all have a great night. We'll see you on the next watch along. Cheers.